Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Ought to Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
Leeds are shit. We're recording, you know.
Oh, shit.
We had a good start. I don't think we've got the personnel.
You can fucking laugh all you want, you absolute bellend.
I think about things. That's why you lot are idiots.
A melted version of a dick that's been shrink wrapped.
The absolute elite shithousery of this.
Good evening, Gilly. How's it going, man?
Evening. It could be better. It could always be worse, but it definitely could be better.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm fairly in the same boat as you there now. Just want to say welcome to Berardi and Coke. This is the post-Villa loss. I don't think I've been able to do a Berardi and Coke for a win yet, so I'm still waiting. Maybe I should just not.
It's your fault.
I was going to get to that, man. Maybe I should just not be on for Berardi and Coke, and we might get a win. So maybe, I don't know, it's something to look into, perhaps. Get smart.
And I shouldn't be here. I should be Luke.
Oh, you should be Luke.
But he's moving house, isn't he? So
he's up the walls with the new house. Pardon the pun. But yeah, so we're here to talk about the lunchtime kickoff today. Leeds versus Aston Villa. Ended Leeds 1, Villa 2. Gilly, you didn't manage to get a ticket. Now, I'm not saying this to rub salt into the wound, okay?
Hey, you had to be there.
Well, this is the other side.
I don't know which one of us came off worse.
I know, yeah. So I just wanted to maybe come to you and just ask you what the was it the same as what we were watching in the stadium on the telly, like?
Well, I don't know, because I want in the stadium to be able to compare, but
you were watching it on the telly.
Yeah, no, but I don't know if it was the same as in the stadium, because I wasn't in the stadium.
Okay, fair, yeah.
I guess the build-up focused mostly on Villa, because there were comments about they'll go into the top four if they win, and about how they'd had a poor run and then they'd managed to turn it around, and we were on a poor run and difficult fixtures coming up, and how important a fixture it was. And the build up from that sort of perspective. So I had Radio Leeds on as well, and Eddie White was on there with Popey, and they were talking about the challenge that the players have, but equally that the players that we do have, if they want to be considered Premier League players, need to stand up and be counted, and they need to put in. And it's not all about just being in a position where they do as they're told and whatever else. It's about having pride for their own professional, the perspective of them as individuals, but also the point that we made. There's true elite players, and then there's the top players, and I think the true elite players are those that go for 100 million plus and play in the Champions League and go and win trophies and titles and what have you. But you have to be a very, very good footballer to get to the level that we're at. And in the past couple of games, we've just not shown that. And I think that was the point that was being made on Radio Leeds, at least, is you have to see a performance and you have to react to a poor performance as well and put it in. And largely, especially in the first half, but largely, I kind of thought we did that. But I think there were some raised eyebrows on Sky Sports News, on Radio Leeds, and in the build up to it about the starting lineup and changes that were made, changes that were not made. More on the changes that were not made, and I think that there's they talked about the pressure on Farke. Farke was interviewed before the game and asked about the pressure, and he said, "I don't take any notice of that." But it was an interesting juxtaposition, because going into a home game against the side that could go top four, but you're in a position where you're then playing Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, even Brentford away. It's very rare we go to London and get anything. So even that one is a challenge, but the fact that they're once again, they're in Europe and pushing for European places, that being the, in inverted commas, easiest fixture in the run that we've got coming up, tells a story in and of itself.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you were saying there, Gilly. Now, I know as well, like everyone else, I think we thought that this was going to be one of the easier fixtures of, well, not easier, but one that we could probably look at, getting a positive result from. But on the bright side, we do have Liverpool coming up, and they've been shit. And like, we're playing City next week. They're off the back of a loss as well. The optimist in me is slowly coming out again. It's like, hey,
even tonight after today, wow.
When it
comes to Leeds, you're a better man than I am.
See, I was going to bring that up actually about today, right? And Steve Brown was in the comments there. He said, thought we were very good first half. Full of subs at halftime, changed momentum, and such a soft goal to give away 3 minutes after kickoff. I went down at halftime for my usual beverage, and I said to the lads that go forward, and I was like, look, we need to come out the exact same way we played in that first half. Otherwise, we're going to concede. Like, and I don't know what it is about coming out at halftime, and it's so lackluster for 20 minutes in every second half we've played, and it doesn't look like we're going to go for it at all. It looks like we're happy sitting with what we've got, and we can't defend or attack in the manner that we can afford to sit on a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, correct.
And Steve is right, and I do agree with him. Like, that first half, I couldn't really fault it. It was very good. We limited them to very, very little. They looked shell shocked at how we were actually going forward with the ball and how we were trying to press on them the whole time. And I don't think they expected that from us based off the last 3 games that we've played, I think. But what frustrates the shit out of me is that we can't do that for 90 minutes, even though Fark bangs on about how we're, super fit and we work on fitness and we do this and we do that. And it's like, yeah, but like, if that fitness is going to show through, that needs to happen for 90 minutes constantly.
Yes.
Like, you cannot say that, our fitness is through the roof. It's this and that. If your fitness is through the roof, the first 10 minutes doesn't happen in the second half today. I'm sorry.
I agree.
It's starting to annoy me now, like, because we're at this stage now in the season where we're looking at the first half, or majority of games we played at home, let's be honest, where we've been very good and gone toe to toe, and perhaps should have got more out of the Bournemouth game. I spoke to a couple of Spurs fans that I work with. They said we should have won that game. There is positives there. Fulham, freak own goal, but there is positives there. But it's always our second half that lets us down, seemingly, when we're playing quite well. And that again happened today. We came out 3 minutes into the second half, boom, they score. Brain's not switched on at all, and you see Fark on the sideline doing this, and it's like, well, what? Like, what is that if they're not fucking doing it? Like,
well, do you know what that reminded me of? Yeah. That was the very Jesse Marsh. Why are they scared? But you tell me, you're the manager. Yeah. You make them not scared if you don't want them to be scared.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it stank of that for me, and I think the real frustration for me is, I think, 99%, and to be fair, Luke wasn't there, so maybe 100% of people can see what's wrong with the attack. And Metcha's got his 3rd goal. I mean, knew nothing about it, but actually, do you know what? He could score 100 and not know anything about any of them. I don't care.
I'd be happy with that.
But he was there, and it went off him, and it went in. And to be fair, I think, was it Konza that played it against him, and then it rolled in. If he's not doing that on the line, it goes in anyway. It's just stats well instead of Metcha's. So that goal was coming, and I thought we were well worth the goal that we scored. Actually, I think balance of play at that point in time. I think you're probably being quite generous with the amount of time in the second half they dominated. But if we just wind it back to the starting lineup, bringing Struijk in, you have to be 2 goals clear to have Struijk in your side, because he's always going to do that diving in that he did. And I think if he doesn't dive in there, you're in a position where the ball's running to the byline. He's not straight through on goal. He was running to the byline away from goal, and you know, I didn't think he needed to make that challenge, but that is Strike. That's how he plays. He's too slow at reading the game, and he's too slow in general. I would not have brought him back in. I would have stuck with Perry. Perry were questionable today, but I would have stuck with him because I think when you've got a keeper that you've picked and you've brought somebody in to be your first choice, very much like the centre back, and you spent that money. Well, there's a reason that you're doing that. You need to give him time. Yeah. So I would have stuck with Perry, even though he were quite questionable today. But I would have stuck with Biol as well. We all know my thoughts on Aronson. He's just not fucking good enough. You know, this bullshit. I don't know if you've seen any of the stuff after the game, but Farke's talking about why do we talk about mental health? Yeah, I'm sat here in a jumper that says it's okay to talk, and on the back of it says it's okay to not be okay, and it's really, really important, these messages that we are delivering as a podcast, and you know, we're supporting Andy's Man Club. I'm doing Abby Dash. It's some stupid reason decided I were going to do it. Fundraising for Andy's Man Club. I'm almost as, in fact, probably more furious at him at making those comments when he's the fucker that's lining up Aronson for all the bullshit because he's not good enough and he keeps picking him. Yeah. That's really, really got my goat. So I'm frustrated. I thought DCL should have started. All right, Metro got his goal, fair. But I think DCL brings more to the all-round game. I hate the fact that I starred one that was Scooby. Oh no, it's gone. I thought I'd starred one. He gave Smarty some credit for something that I think it was me that said is that Mitch is an athlete, he's a big lump, he puts himself about. Fuck me, falls over far too easily, goes down looking for everything, and that's frustrating. So I would have played DCL, but yeah, fair enough, he got his goal. Definitely, you know, I think it's criminal that you've got Nonto and James sat on the bench and you're playing somebody that's not even a winger in front of them. It's absolutely criminal, especially, you know, if you're playing free in midfield, you're not as creative through the centre, so you need to be creative on your wing, so you play somebody that's not, you know, we take our worst attacker, play him on the wing, and not only that, but later in the game, when we're desperate to change the balance of the game and to get some creativity, move him at fucking 10. Yeah. Now, if he wants to get sacked, fine. Yeah, if he wants his payoff, all right, he can't just walk out. But if you don't want the job anymore, fine. But you can't tell me when 100, because Luke's not there, 100% of the crowd knows that Aronson shouldn't be playing in that match. There's only him and the USMNT bullshit from another country that never go to the fucking games that think that he's worth a shirt.
Yeah.
In front of Nonto and James. Now, if Nonto and James haven't got a full match in them, fine. Play one and then swap them for the other. Not play that fucker. And it's not his fault that he's getting picked.
Yeah. This
absolutely
is the other thing
not his
as well.
fault. It's not his fault. That's down to Farke. But it all is at the moment. I've not been Farke out until now. I'm 100% Farke out now.
Well, like I tend to agree with you there. It's like, how are you, Jay? Where...
Oh, by the way, this is for mental health as well. I'm all in this time. This is awful. This is awful. Yeah, mine's always been fucked.
That's join the club. I think all of us are like fucking raggy dolls on this pod. That was something wrong with each and every one of us.
Yeah, I do agree with what you're saying, Gilly, in the sense that if Farke is going to talk about the mental health thing, take him out of the firing line. Don't leave him in there. You're essentially putting a lamb out to slaughter there. Like, and if it is a case that is what's going on, take him out of it. Don't leave him in there. You've got two fit players to come on. But I just want to touch on something earlier that you said regarding Strike, how we need to be 2 goals up, and Wayne Mace 5-4-8-7. Total nonsense about Strike. I think that's in reference to
not Strike. I don't know who Strike is.
Yeah. In reference to you saying that we need to be 2 goals up. I think that's a little bit unfair. I think we need to be 2 goals up no matter who the fuck is in our defence at the moment. Okay, so I think it's a little unfair to kind of paint Strike with that brush just as a standalone in that sense. I get what you mean. Like,
really? Because the 2 games that he last played, he gave away on his own. Gave away the chances that goals came from. So 3 games in a row, not counting the games he wasn't in, 3 appearances of his, he's gifted goals to the opposition.
Yeah, but we've also lost the last couple of games 3-4-1. Like, so BR was in the middle for that. Like, so you can't really. I get what you're saying about strike, but I think it applies to our whole defense. It's at the moment we're leaking goals like.
And it's not all on one. It's absolutely not all on one. But every game he's played for the past handful of games, he's directly been at fault for at least one, if not a couple of goals.
No, I agree with that, man. I do agree with that. Like, Jay, you're humming and hawing and fuffing and faffing down the bottom there. Do you want to maybe say something? Is that what you're getting at?
I'm fizzing. I'm fucking fizzing today. Honestly,
let it go, Jay.
I was on my way to the game, and I was just putting Radio Leeds on. I thought I'll have a listen, see what's happening, see what people are saying, and I saw a fucking team, and I turned it straight off. And I thought, fuck that. I thought, that fucking bastard, that absolute bastard. I've backed him to the fucking hilt. I've backed him. I've questioned him at times, but I've backed him. And I feel like he's shafted me. It feels like a man who knows he's leaving has said, fuck you to us lot. Do you know what I mean?
So you said something earlier when you did the team. You said something earlier, and it was I can't remember how you'd phrased it, but you were talking. It was one of the voice notes that you did, so I can't double check it now. But
a bit about Bogle.
No, it were about how we've not had to deal with this before, and it's now we're in the Premier League, and he's changed or something. But if you remember
what I said, mate, I were on one at the time. So.
But the point I made back is actually no, absolutely not. This is 100% his MO. Just remember how long he persisted with Perrault and Rutter in the wrong position.
Yeah, I know.
And it were only when forced that changed.
Do you know what? The thing that pissed me off the most was Dan James has gone away and had a great international break.
A goal and an assist.
Great international break. Yeah. Aronson did fuck all, as per.
Be all were man at match, by the way.
Yeah. And Nonto's, been training for about 6 months by sound going to play. And he keeps telling us, oh yeah, Willie's back with the team. It's going great. It's a great member of the squad. Then he doesn't fucking pick the bastard. You know what I mean? Then you see that team sheet.
Has he gone really robotic for you, Karl?
Oh, thank God. I thought it was my internet.
No, you've gone right robotic.
I'm back.
No,
you're robotic.
Sick.
Check
you've infected me with your work mind virus, Karl.
I definitely don't have that.
I'll be back.
That's one virus I don't have. Fucking hell. Yeah, so Jay was going off on a massive rant there. Like I kind of look at it, and I'm not 100% in the fark out, but I'm really close. Today, it's just the stubbornness, man, to not change it for the like you said, Nonto and James on the bench. James with a goal and an assist in international duty, starting for his country. And I came on in the first game as a sub and then started the second game, I think.
In which they ran out 7-1 victors.
Yeah.
They'll have been, walking on. They've been on cloud 9. If somebody has come off a couple of international fixtures, played really well. Remember how he was when he'd missed the penalty and they'd not qualified, and that really affected him for weeks.
Yeah, it did.
Imagine what it would have been this time. It's the other end of that scale. Get him in. Put him in the team.
He's buzzing, like he's absolutely buzzing. Get him in there. I just wanted to touch on how Goodmanson looked today. He, I think it's probably one of his better games again for us. He's the most consistent.
There was that mistake. Yeah, I agree with you. There was that mistake where Strike then had a complete head loss, and that that came from him not really. He's got such a confidence in his ability. He thought he'd be able to take that down, turn away from his man, and then clear it rather than clearing it first time and being a bit more safe with it. Normally that works out. In the conditions today, you just think maybe that was slightly naive. Really, I say really heavy pitch. I stopped myself halfway through that because I've played Sunday League and that's not fucking heavy pitch.
That's immaculate.
The boots weigh fuck all. The pitch is brilliant. It's like a carpet. Yeah. But yeah, in those, it was heavy rain, and in those conditions, you're thinking maybe playing it safe is the right approach. But he backed his own ability. If only his centre half had anything about him, he'd have been covering him anyway. So, I do agree with you. You know, some of those marauding runs he makes, and he's very, very rarely caught out of the pitch. You know, he's you know, we can come on to footballing IQ at some point, and I think that's an important aspect because half of their job is knowing where to be so that they can influence the game. That's half of the job of an elite footballer. It's not being reactive; it's being proactive, managing your opponent. And you know, facing up to your opponent and dominating them physically, dominating with the ball.
It's the element of football, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's that bit upstairs, and I think that's why Arrington's so poor, because he doesn't have any footballing IQ. He's just reactive. Now that might not all be his fault. He's been coached from being a very, very young age to have that inability to control the ball. He doesn't want to control the ball. He wants to crash into what's going on and just have that bit of chaos, because that's what he's been taught to do. That's not what we need. Well, yeah, but you know, and having him there,
he's just running around.
Having him there is just totally ruined Bogle's game. And having Dan James on in front of Bogle like a breath of fresh air for him, he instantly looked like a footballer again, where he's been really quite poor over the past handful of games. But for the level that he's been playing at before that, I mean, I don't mean he's a poor player. Just his form had really dipped, and he looked off. You know, he was beating a man. He had that turn in him that kind of bought himself like 3 or 4 yards of space that he has, and you're like,
yeah.
How on earth did he do that? And you know, it just looked and felt different, and we looked so much better and more balanced with actual wingers on the right, regardless of the stupidity of putting him in at 10. But we just had a better balance, and I think that's part of the frustration. But to come back to the Goodmanson point, I think you are right. His form, you know, he's a solid 7 or 8 every match.
Yeah.
It's very unusual. You know, the bits that stick out. The Fulham own goal was so unlucky. That's such a freak. You know, the touch today, poor conditions. Maybe he should have dealt with it a bit better. But when it's things like that are kind of just freak occurrences that just happen as part of playing football, it's hard to be too critical of him. And I think he brings so much to the balance of that side. You know, and we really needed an alternate on the other side for Bogle to give the balance that we really needed. And I think he really brings that.
Yeah, I do like his first half performance today was it was so good, man. As soon as he got that little bit of space where he was driving into, like, he had Matty Cash on toast. Matty Cash did not want to be facing either Okafor or Goodmanson today. He was absolutely,
the ref helped
like,
him out a bit.
Oh yeah, the ref completely helped him out. Like,
when Goodmanson got into the box and he battled to win it back, and he got the ball back, and they gave a free kick.
Yeah.
That'd have been right in front of you, wouldn't it? Down in front of both of you.
One of many shite decisions from a shite official out of his depth.
And that was one of the things I noticed about Goodmanson today, was especially our second half performance. He didn't have those runs forward as often as he did in the first half, because we were sitting back and we were inviting it on. And once they got their goal, our arse fell out, and we were like, right, okay. So we went into defensive mode and tried to work the play from the middle 3 to the final 3, and it just didn't work. Like you were saying, Jay, there as well, that the ref today was the absolute shithouse today. Like,
shocking.
Your clip at the end of the intro, Gilly, the absolute shithousery of that. That's exactly what the ref was today. Jay, you made a very good point there. I'm sure you'd love to elaborate on that a little bit, would you?
What, the ref? Jesus Christ. The guy was shocking, mate. He just... I looked at the stats at the end of the game, and it was something like 16 fouls for us, 14 for them. Yet we got 5 yellow cards and they got 1. He booked Bogle, then let McGinn do the exact same thing. He let them do cynical fouls to stop breaks from happening, and he didn't book them. And last but not least, he refused to give us a free kick down in the corner, then gave them one that they scored from at the other end.
Yep.
Had we been given the free kick, we should have had, because even from the cheese wedge, you could see the way the player fell backwards was unnatural. He'd been dragged.
Yeah.
Yep.
They never score that goal.
Yeah, very true. Very
Do we
true.
deserve a draw at the end of it? That's debatable. But they don't score that goal if he makes the correct decision in the corner. It was shit. And that just put the ice on the cake.
I think a lot to do with that is John McGinn absolutely pressuring the referee. Like,
he ref the game, didn't McGinn?
It's illegal to marry your cousins in Malta.
Jamie Dodger says referees are the reason it's illegal to marry your cousin in most countries.
Jesus
nice,
Christ.
Jamie.
They are a special kind of person.
Yeah, I just think that the referee was very weak today, and the proof in that is that basically John McGinn reffed the game. Anytime there was a foul or anything like that, even if it was for Villa, he'd still go over and give the ref shit for not booking us or something like that. And even if it was against them, he was up in the referee's face. And I think with the referee being that weak, it was always going to go. He was always going to have, he was always going to have a shit game. And I know we shouldn't blame the refs, but when you see a poor performance like that, you can't. You have to. You
call it out. Call it as you see it.
The game management is what's cost us, not the ref. But he contributed to it. He didn't help. We had to fight twice as hard because of poor decisions.
Yeah. Like there was a few bookings today, like Tanaka, Bryn says there, Tanaka was harsh for his booking.
Ridiculous.
Like first tackle he actually put in, I think, and he got booked for it. Like he was only on the pitch about 10 minutes. Where's the logic in that? Like,
and he got subbed, as Gilly was saying in the group, wasn't he? Because the fourth official told Farke he was going to get a booking if he did another foul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's crazy. Like, he didn't even do it. Like,
predetermined. I'm going to book him whether it's a bad foul or not.
Yeah, but the thing is, he let McGinn away with it for how long before McGinn got taken off because he was about to get a second yellow?
Yeah.
McGinn did 70-odd minutes, 75 minutes of just absolute shitting on everything and then just fucking walked off. But you know what? Maybe it's a case that we actually need a player like that who's just going to be in the ref's face, who's just going to be like an absolute
there's only so much you
wanker.
can do. You know, Ampadu was borderline because of the response of the ref to Ampadu. You could see he was borderline and that he was going to talk himself into a booking. Ampadu's the captain, McGinn's the captain. So if one of them can approach the referee in the way that McGinn did, then surely Ampadu can do the same. And he was getting warned off and he was getting told, in no uncertain terms. And I think we've got two very contrasting views here because we've got Smarty saying one of the worst refereeing performances I've ever seen, and we've got Bryn, who, let's be honest, some of his takes, but we've got him saying we've had far worse refs this season than him. I'm not even that upset about the poor decision making because that happens in every game. It's the inconsistency in the same game based on the opponent. That's the issue. Tanaka got booked. That wasn't even a foul.
Yeah.
No.
McGinn didn't get booked for 3 probably bookable fouls before he got booked. And it's that inconsistency. And I think that's probably where Smart is coming from in how bad it was. He didn't manage the game effectively. He let McGinn manage him. He was not consistent with his response to Ampadu. Bogle got booked for very little, having been fouled significantly worse several times. And it's that inconsistency, and that's the frustration. And that's how you end up with players getting booked and sent off because they react to that sort of situation because there is an inherent unfairness about how you end up in that scenario. And it doesn't matter, I'm not talking about a lack of professionalism there. They are human. They are not robots. And if there is a sense of unfairness for now, but Bielsa always said if footballers were robots, I'd win every game, and I think he's probably right. But it's one of them where if you're in a situation, however professional you are, whatever else, when there's a sense of unfairness, you will react to it.
Yeah, and it
definitely was.
It's built up on the frustration of inconsistency, so that we the frustration comes once stuff starts going against us, and it has done quite a bit. And you could see it today in some of their phases as well. Like Ampadu, like you said, Gilly, getting hushed away by the referee when he should be entitled to go up and talk to the referee. That just builds a frustration within the players. And that can go from, even though Ampadu can be quite calm and collect on majority of occasions, that can trickle down into the rest of the team, that frustration. There was a lot of fouls there today where it would have built, like anyone was, like McGinn, of course, was awful lucky not to be sent off, in my opinion. 3 bookable offences before he even got booked.
I'd agree.
Can
I wind you up even more about the ref?
No, I'm not too sure if I want that chase on.
Bogle was actually booked in the first half for time wasting.
Hey.
41 minutes. That's the official reason that was put forward for his booking, was time wasting.
That's weak. That's weak.
Fucking hell. Right. Okay. On that note, let's do a couple of comments here and just get your opinions on a few of these, lads. All right. So we've got Scooby D2. How's it going, Scooby? Is it me, or does the Tash make him look Belgian? Which nationality do you think he looks like? And will you do an accent, please? Possibly Swedish, Gilly.
I can't do accents at all. I'm even worse than you.
Man, you got to be able to do the. Everyone can do the chef from the Muppets. Everyone can do that. That's as Swedish as you're going to get. Go on.
I
can't think of what he says. No, I can't.
There
you go. You've had an accent.
There you go. I hope that's all right, Scooby.
I hope that's not by some of our Scandinavian fans.
I fucking hope so as well. But I get enough of the old Irish thing off Smarty anyway, so fuck it. If you dish it out and take it and all that shit.
That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Bryn with another bit of enlightenment in the comments. For the record, it wasn't me who went after Fark. He's too far away from my seat. This is in relation to the chap that.
Could you see it? Could you see it in the chat? But obviously, what's happening?
Yeah. There was, just all the way to the dugout. Notice it. There was a Leeds fan who ran from his seat at the end of the away dugout and got as far as the technical area with Daniel Fark in it nearly. And had to be dragged off by stewards
in that moment.
Yeah. So yeah,
but was that in the first half?
No, I think that was the second half.
Second, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Couldn't have been that frustrated going in 1-0 up at half time.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's bad now, though, isn't it? It's bad because, like, if you want to tell them what you think, you can't take your season ticket anymore. You got to throw your phone at them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And then you get done for violent conduct rather than just throwing away your season ticket. Yeah. We've got Jamie Dodger in the comments. How are you, Jamie? 49ers tried to nickel and dime the transfer market, and it's biting us and Fark in the arse. Now, I just want to touch on this bit. This is why I'm still not convinced that we should sack Fark. I know it sounds fucking mental, but he's been massively let down now in the top end of the pitch regarding transfers. Now, do you sack him now? Because it has to be a quick thing. It has to be like rip the plaster off, fucking do it. Because we need some.
No, absolutely not.
Hold on. Let me finish. Do you sack him now so that the new manager coming in has the opportunity to assess the squad before the January transfer window?
No, or because you don't have to sack him now, because you can talk to the guy that you want in, and you can have him looking at the setup and whatever else. The Brentford game's mid-December.
Mm-hmm.
The club should already know where they need to strengthen. We need a 10. We need to boot Arrington out and replace him. I think it's fairly easy. We are absolutely crying out for a 10.
Yeah,
100%. Somebody that can dominate and somebody that can worry the opposition, like Okafor. There was something that really surprised me, and I started earlier. That was Skippy. Yeah, I thought Okafor was one of our worst players today. He's getting double marked in every game because he's with Arrington on the other side. They know they can just fucking ignore him because all he's going to do is run 15 yards and then run 10 yards backwards and pass it to centre half. They don't need to defend against him.
It's blatantly obvious.
So I thought Okafor was one of our worst players today. I think if you step back and you look at chances created, whatever else, he's being double marked. Every time he got the box because they were so scared of him. Now, he's not the quickest across the ground, but his feet are so quick. They're really worried, and the back off. Somebody else is not working, and we all know who it is. But if you've got somebody that's actually got something about them on the right wing, Okafor plays a lot better because either they don't double up on him anymore, or they've got a lot more space. And I think that there's a massive difference there. And while you can look at, well, he didn't get an assist, he didn't get a goal, whatever. I think that he's the one that can be our difference maker in this current setup that we've got, because there is nobody else.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, unless he's going to start playing Okafor in the middle and then utilize James and Nanto on either wing, he's our best winger. And you're right, he is getting doubled up on, and it happened against Forest as well. Soon as they utilized it, or marked him out of the game, that was our creativity gone. He brought on fucking Jack Harrison then, and that was
He's
just
not going to utilize him, Karl. That's the fucking problem. That's why when I saw the team sheet, I realized this guy has learned nothing. He's learned nothing. He's unwilling or unable to adapt, and that's not good enough in our position. We need somebody who's going to respond to what's going on.
Yeah,
somebody who's rigid. 70-minute subs, whether game's gone by that point or not. Forest made subs that changed the game. We waited till after we went behind, then made subs. Today again, we waited till 70 minutes to start changing things, and we were on the back foot. And the guy learns nothing. And I've backed him all the way, and I've had enough. And I could have been that guy going to the dugout, but I'm quite far away, and it's too much effort to get all that way.
If you've only got little legs, so
I'm not running from a cheese wedge. You know what I mean, though? It's so frustrating. It's just, we can all see the issues here. We can all see it. We talk about it week after week, and nothing is changing.
I don't know.
Performance, we're a little bit better, but he's still doing the same shit. Aronson, until he is vanquished from that side, not even on the bench, because we don't need to rely on him at all.
We're not wishing harm as a podcast against any individuals.
No,
both
stay at the training
physically or
ground,
mentally,
whatever. Until that happens, we're in trouble, and it's not going to change.
Well, if we get him out on loan somewhere, that's a wage we can give to somebody else.
He's not going to loan him out. He's starting him every week.
Yeah, it's the thing. He's not going to do that. Just to kind of skew off on everything else, just for a second, Jamie thinks that you look like Magnum PI.
I'll take that.
Yeah, for anyone not looking or if we're not watching the YouTube part of the pod and listening to it on Spotify or something, Gilly's growing something on his face. Apparently it's for charity. I just think he likes the look of it. It's
November, isn't it? So it's November. I'm running for Andy's Man Club at the end of the month, and I was thinking, why not? I tell you what, I'd take his Ferrari, that 308 GTS.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful car.
Well, you've definitely got enough Hawaiian-looking shirts anyway, so you should be all right in that aspect.
I'd say he's more Freddie Mercury than Magnum PI.
I think that's a side pod we should potentially start. You know what I mean? Skippy, just the last couple here now, lads, and we'll talk about the second half a little bit. Fans may not like it, but drop Ampadu back into centre back with Rodon and play Stack as a CDM. We didn't spend 21 odd million euro on a centre back to resort to playing Ampadu at the back, in my opinion.
I'd rather play Ampadu than strike.
Yeah, but you also need to get that 21 million euro centre back up to speed.
Oh yeah, I'd like I said before, I would have started Biol, but strike would have been my third choice to partner Rodon. I would have rather played Ampadu there. There's a lot of talk about Stack being given an opportunity at CDM. Apparently, that's where he's played his best football. I freely admit I knew of him and I'd seen him play, but I've not spent any time
divulging into his
deep into his game and what I've not Bielsa'd him by any stretch, but apparently that's been the best periods of his career is when he's been played there, and we know that Longstaff's got the experience and the capability to play in front of a CDM because that's what he does, and Tanaka came on and did well today, so I wouldn't be against that, but I'm not dropping Ampadu, so I'm playing him at centre back. If I'm not playing him in midfield, he's the captain, and he's got that. He's got that shithousery about him that the rest of the side just tend not to have. Now we saw it a bit today in the first half. It looked like they'd really got it into their head that they weren't going to be bullied, whereas actually for the last couple of weeks we've just rolled over for our bellies tickled, and it's just been we've been far too passive. I don't know how he translates that steal at home that it seemed like we have, because I thought that we had that right through the game. I didn't think that went away in the second half. It was just the changes that they made were impactful, and we didn't make any changes, and that was not impactful. And that's part of the frustration, as Jay said. We could see it happening. They made changes at halftime. They instantly had an impact, and we didn't react until the 70th minute. It's too late. But
sorry, yeah.
It's all right, go on.
I think that's part of the problem. Is it's a reactionary sub from Farke rather than tactical. You know what I mean?
Even then, it's too late.
No, but it is. It is too late. You're right. You're spot on. But his substitutions at the moment, they don't ever seem to be a tactical one. It's a like for like. Nothing changes. It's basically it's a reactionary swap. Where he's right, okay, he's got knackered there now, so I'm going to put someone else in exactly the same thing there, and they're not going to, impact the game any different. Like, watch it.
We've got a message in the group here from Gail. She says, Jay, my kids think he looks like Freddie too. We did the comparison at Wembley last year.
We did. We did. Year before, surely.
Year before, yeah.
For the playoff. You'll have to tell
no, last year. No, it was last year, wasn't it?
What?
It was a season before. We're now two, because it was the tail end of the season before, so it was last year.
It feels like an eternity.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, no, there was a great big mural on the wall.
Mural.
We can never let Karl forget that. No, there were a great big mural on the wall of Freddie Mercury, and I had a picture stood next to it. So yeah, it is there somewhere.
Wasn't me with the mural thing, man. It was Smarty with the mural. Yeah.
It was Adam. It was Adam that first said Muriel. I'm sure it was.
Was it?
Back in day.
Oh, right.
Fucking hell.
I was full sure it was Smarty about the bleeding Muriel.
I'm sure it was. I could be wrong. I'm sure I'll be correct.
Anyway, back to the subs. We can all see that we needed something changing, and we just waited far too long. And being in that set, 70 minutes, I'll make my 70 minutes. I'll make my changes. It's like, right, but that's 25 minutes after somebody else has changed it, and that's had a positive impact. So even if it is reactionary at that point, react to a change that's influenced the game so that you can influence the game as well. If we'd have brought Dan James on, maybe not even, I'm not saying because they've made a change at half time, on 47 minutes we should make a change.
No, absolutely not.
But on 55 minutes, they've equalised and they're still on top. Make a change at that point, because you need Dan James on, and you need Aronson out of the ground, just getting gone. And that's the frustration. Yeah, that's the frustration, because everybody could see that. The commentators were saying Leeds really need to change something here because they're really under the cosh. And you're going, yeah, they're right.
Yeah.
The thing is as well, around 62 minutes, everyone in the South Stand started singing, make a sub, just make a sub. And I don't know how loud it was on the TV or whatever, but it was loud enough for Farke to fucking hear it, to make a sub.
Yeah, and then he's lost his ticket now, but Dan James came on 2 minutes later.
It came on at 71 minutes or something like that. I was like, Jesus.
He would bang on 70. Yeah. Absolutely bang on 70 minutes.
It's ridiculous.
It's
you can set your watch by it.
It's the easiest thing to play against. You know exactly what you need to do.
It's ridiculous.
Just get fresher legs on just before Farke does. Run our players into the ground. Then by the time he brings on some subs, they've either gotten the lead or they've scored an equaliser. And you're like, well, it's just fucking too late now. It's too late. And it's frustrating more so now because we can all see it. We could see it last year and the year before. But to the extent that it is now in the Premier League, it's easier to see it because we're just a level below teams that we're competing against now, So it's more obvious now that he needs to do it earlier, and it needs to be tactical rather than, it's 70 minutes. Go and get your fucking boots laced up there,
Well, Arthur Busby says we didn't sit back. Both teams going for it.
Oh, no, we absolutely did.
Sat back in that second half.
We absolutely did, yeah.
First half, we were going for it.
Yeah.
All the attacking fullback runs and stopped in the second half. We weren't doing it anymore. We were sat back.
I can tell you, we were set so far back in that second half that Perry was nearly in the fucking south stand with us. that's how far back we were set for a lot of it. Like,
it was terrible to watch, wasn't it? The second half, you just knew what was going to happen.
Yeah,
like Gilly was saying then, like when they equalised, like you should be looking at and saying, "Shit, the tide's turned here."
Yeah,
I'll stem that now. Don't let them build momentum from here. We need to pull this back in.
Yeah,
and he didn't do anything. Just let us carry on doing what we were doing that had led to the first goal. Just
there you go.
Yeah,
they set back. There they got their second goal just there, and
then look at the pressure after subs.
All of a sudden they set back, and then pressure from the subs.
It's just disgraceful. That graph is a damning indictment of Daniel Farke and his tactical approach.
Yeah, it
is.
Yeah,
and the point I was making during the game, it won't surprise you at all that it was about Harrington, but the point I was making during the game is we know that we need to change something, and we know that we need to be better in attack, so we take Harrington off. Don't fucking start him then. Start somebody that can attack.
Yeah.
If you know.
Players fit now, he said the fit.
Yeah. So, I even defended at certain points. When we had Harrison on one and Aronson on the other, I'm defending Farke at that point because I'm like, we've literally got nothing else. Okafor's injured. James is injured. Nonto's injured. What on earth do you want him to do?
Yeah, that's what his squad players are for.
At that point, that's all on the 49ers for not signing the players in attack that he wanted. At that point, I'm like, leave Farke alone. There's nothing he can do in this instance because he's asked for more in attack and not got it. The only options that he's got now are Harry Gray, throw him in, see if something's different. It's just not fair on the player or anything like that. So I think that's incredible for anybody to think that that's on Farke to play him when they're not good enough. But the problem that we've got is we've now got actual wingers fit, actual proper wingers that can play on the wing and impact a game from the wing fit.
Yeah.
And I hopefully he won't mind me mentioning this, but Johnny Brown were in the comments in the group chat earlier, and he were like, "Does this guy want to be sacked? Because it's fucking criminal."
Yeah,
yeah.
That's how bad it is.
Does he want his payout so that he can go with a bit of fucking back pocket full of money, like, because he's not going to quit?
I can't believe that anyone would want to walk away with the abysmal Premier League record he's got, because if he loses this job, he never manages in the Premier League again.
He's got two away wins in 50 Premier League games or something like that.
Yeah,
it might go in his favour actually, because have Middlesbrough got their new gaffer in yet?
No,
because Farke's more than capable of going there and getting them up.
Yeah, Norwich might need him soon. They're 23rd, aren't they, or something?
Well, yeah, they're fucked. But Middlesbrough might be interested in taking him, and then we don't have a payout or anything like that. Just agree and go, and he'll get them up, and he'll manage in the Premier League because he's a very good Championship coach.
Yeah.
We all said it's kind of difficult to judge him on his showing for Norwich when he just wasn't backed, and I think there's a certain argument that says that he's not being backed this time as well. And I know people will say £100 million, whatever else. Rutter sold. Somerville sold, Gray sold. Yeah, that's all true. But Rutter, Gray, and Somerville were all sold because he didn't get us promoted first time round. But we're in this position now where I think, I hesitate to say it because it feels like we say it a lot and we're a stuck record. I mean, I am when it comes to Harrington and Stroik anyway. But you look at some of the clips under Bielsa and people are saying, well, nobody else could do any better. I'm sorry. The coach's ability to get more out of the players is one of the absolute key elements of football. That's the coach sets the standard, sets the scene, obviously picks the team, but give this team the right approach and right mentality and right professionalism and everything that goes along with that. And I think that when you look at, we had fucking Tyler Roberts in the Premier League. It's incredible to think about. And you're in that position where, and we not only that, but we were playing well. And I think it's that bit, Joffrey, all right, he's at Hull and he's doing well, but we were excited about the ability we're having. And it's because of the coaching level and the standard that we saw, and we're just not seeing that standard now. Now, nobody's going to be Bielsa, and nobody's going to be loved like Bielsa. It was a context and a time and a place, and it was COVID, and it was all of those things, and he made us all feel things and all feel like, do you know what? The world is a bad place, but it's a little bit better for having him in it, and all of those sorts of things. And we can gush over him all we want, but I think that the thing that we've got is Farke's got what he's got, and he's not doing enough with it. Now, I do feel sorry for him, and I do think that there's an argument that says he wasn't properly backed, but that's not relevant right now. It will be relevant in January, but he's definitely not making it there. So let's make the decision. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, get those fixtures out of the way, because it's madness to think that somebody else should come in and try to manage those games, because we're going to get eyed in. If he pulls out a miracle and wins, I think he's got to win all three to keep his job. I think the decision needs to be made now. And what you do is you go and have that conversation. And that's why I'm saying you don't need somebody in now to be able to look at the squad ahead of January, because they can be looking at the squad in the meantime. All right, they don't work with them day in, day out, because that won't be right. The owners of any football club need to have a list of people that they're going to bring in if their manager walks out. It's a lack of professionalism on their part if they don't already know who they want. Because what if Farke wakes up one day and goes, do you know what? I've had enough. I don't want to do football management anymore. I'm just going to retire. Yeah. They already need to have a plan in place. Otherwise, they're not doing their job. So that list should already exist. Now, speaking to people on that list is a bit different. But now I think is the time. Go speak to them, line up, make sure you've got the person that you want. Farke carries on. Yeah, might be a bit harsh on him to have those conversations behind his back. But do you know what? The club's bigger than any one individual. So I'm sorry, but
that's how the industry works.
Short. It is how the industry works, and he's fallen short. And I blame the owners more than I blame the manager on that. But we've got what we've got, and the playing squad is the playing squad, and it's not going to materially change. We might sign one, we might sign two. I'm doubting even that, to be honest, because I've got no faith in the 49ers at all. But we might sign one, we might sign two.
Someone that we need.
Yeah, and I do not think that will materially change the squad to such an extent that Farke will be able to do the job he needs to do. So we need to be able to bring somebody in that will get something more out of this squad. Now, people will go, who is it? Prince talked about Big Sam. There's all sorts of names getting bandied around. But there are some young up-and-coming managers that you might be able to convince to come and do the job. Gary O'Neill is one. I'm not saying he's the right person for us, but you need to have a look at a certain profile of person.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's the right choice. Rodgers is another name that gets bandied around a lot. People talk about Southgate because he lives not too far away from Leeds. McLaren were another one that got mentioned. There's all sorts of nightmare names. So there are a lot of managers available.
I'd die if we got McLaren. I would absolutely die. I couldn't stomach watching.
As if we're not a banter club enough already.
Man, him or I don't like it'd be Southgate or him that I just dread we got, like, you know what I mean?
Oh man, I'd take Southgate over McLaren.
Southgate lives in Harrogate. Let's get him. Fuck off. Sorry, no, absolutely.
But there are managers like Terzic took Dortmund to Champions League final. He's not in work, and he's only mid-40s. He's somebody that played good football with them. He's not had many jobs, but then nobody at that age has, and everybody's got to cut the teeth somewhere. So it might be that that's somebody that you have a look at. There's a lot of people out there, some ex-footballers, some not, but there's a lot of people out there that've got badges that you can have a look at, and I think for me, the decision's made. I said before kickoff today, if we don't get anything out of this game at all, I think that's him. He should be toast. I've defended him up to this point because I don't think that he was backed properly. But we need more out of the squad that we've got, and he's just not doing it.
Yeah,
we're in the same boat.
Fair assessment. I think it's a fair assessment. It's just how long they leave it before they pull the trigger. I think if they, the other side of the coin is the games that are coming up. Start of the season when the fixtures came out, everyone didn't expect to get anything from them anyway. When you look at them on paper, you're like, right, okay, we don't expect anything from them. So do you are they going to leave him in the job because we don't expect to get anything from them? Is that a wise decision? Like the same can be said like when Bielsa was in charge and we lost to Tottenham at home and he got fired after the game. We had an absolute savage run of games coming up against teams like City, Liverpool. I think we had Scum in there as well. We had Scum twice in there. And then it was kind of a steady
That's when Scooby had the kids in it.
Yeah. And then it was kind of a steady run of fixtures. So they kind of, like me personally, I'd have preferred to have kept Bielsa over those.
Me too.
Bunch of games, because you knew he was going to get more out of the games after that than we would. We wouldn't have been fighting on the final day of the season if we'd have left Bielsa in charge that year. Now, I'm not going digging up the past or anything, but my point being is that are we going to leave Fark in charge for these next 4 or 5 games because we already know we're getting nothing out of them and we weren't expecting to get anything out of them? So do they do it anyway? You know, so, do they leave them there?
Just on that note, so Dr. Cox says Southgate, no thanks. Herbert says don't Southgate me, and Scooby says Southgate with Neville as assistant and name stand after Ken Bates. I was not advocating for Southgate to come in.
Yes, you were. Before the pod you said it. Before the pod you said
it. You can balls. No, I hated him for England. I'd hate him for Leeds. I absolutely not. What I was saying was these are the names that we're being linked with. I mean, Terzic would be one that I'd be really quite happy with. You made a face, Karl, about Gary O'Neill, but I think he's much better than what we've got, and I think that he did well with the squad he had available to him. And they are now better because they've got if you look at Bournemouth, they've got a very, very good coach, and they've spent a lot of money on their playing squad, and they are better now than when O'Neill had them. You were Bournemouth, he were at, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he was at Wolves as well for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was, because he said that he wouldn't go back, didn't he, this time? Yeah, well, he said that he didn't want to. But when they were when he had them, they'd not had anything like the money spent on them that they've got now, and he got a lot out of that squad. And I think they then went, we need to kick on a little bit. I think they're a very well-run club, but for them to be in the Premier League at this point, having stayed in the Premier League for so many seasons in a stand that a stadium that looks like fucking York should be playing in it, it's quite incredible that they're able to compete, but they are able to compete because of the ability that they've got and how well run they are. Brighton's another one. Brighton's an incredibly run club, and those teams. Brentford's another. They're playing a fucking Matchbox stadium.
These clubs somehow manage to find gems of players and profit from them after a season or two of benefiting from them being in the team, and they're just really good at that.
Can't even give Mesley away for free at the moment. You know what I mean? It's like bad things are getting.
We'll end up paying his wages for him to go play for someone else.
It's so bad.
They show it's possible. If you're a well-run club, it's absolutely possible. Look at the amount of money Brighton have brought in from player sales. It is incredible. Yeah. And for a club of their stature to get 100 million plus for 2 different players in 2 different seasons, it just allows them to go and do whatever it is that they want to do with the rest of their playing staff.
They can football manager the shit out of it, can't they? Yeah. That's the thing. They can just go out.
And I know the money ball in it, but it's shown that it's absolutely possible to find the right deals that have a lot of value to them, and then the right deals the other way, them going out of the club, that allows you to go and do it again, but you can do it again incrementally better each time, because if you're making money on your sales, as a club, we simply, Raf and Calvin aside, how many times on a season have we gone and made money but invested it in more players? Yeah. And those players be sold for more. You look at, the likes of fucking Robin Koch,
lose money on players.
Spend a lot of money on, and there's just no value in those deals because we're paying actual market value for them. We're not paying below market value, and we're certainly not getting above market value when they go. Fucking Aronson. Worth what? 4.8, and we paid 28. It's just incredible. He's an average championship player, and we paid Champions League money for him. It's just it's incredible, and I think a lot of that has to go to the feet of the ownership, the prior and the current. I think that Parag makes a rod for his own back when he talks about doing deals in his sleep, and he does those interviews, and you're thinking, right, well, okay, money where your mouth is, then show us, and he's come up short again.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
look,
You're
I think
give it big licks. You got to back it.
Yeah, you do. And I think that could probably be a discussion for the main pod, because I think there will be a ferocious amount to talk about outside of the game on this week's
We're going to have
pod.
to dissect who's at fault, Karl, and figure this shit out.
Well, I think at the end of the day, I think we have to look, like we've mentioned, you have to look at the board. We saw the plan that they were trying to do when it came to building the squad and the nucleus of the team for the coming season, and they just absolutely brain farted the last 15% of that. And it's eventually going to cost them. I think they have these grandiose plans of, building the stadium, doing all this, and Prague's on about European football, and it's like, come on, we've heard the chairman talk like that before and not put their hand in their pocket. Don't be the second one in a row to carry on like that, But I like, just to kind of finish up, we've managed to waffle on for an hour. I always my brother was asking me, he was like, it's going to be an hour and a half tonight, is it? I was like, it's a loss, man. It could be 45 minutes, but generally it does go over the hour. Like, I just think big game on Saturday against City is it's one of them. We have to wait and see. Gilly, have you any final thoughts before we finish up, man?
I think, go sponsor me and Alas doing Abidash end of month. I think I don't expect to get anything from the next 3 games. I think the individual class that they've got will tell, and I think you look at Forest and what they did against Liverpool was absolutely incredible. But on paper we should be nowhere near. But on the run that we're on, 3 defeats in a row, and I thought that we showed some fight today, but it wasn't enough to get the result. Whereas in the previous 2 games it's been abject, and I think that he has to find a way, like I said before, to take that steal from the home game into away games, because otherwise we're going to get absolutely steamrolled. And it feels bad already. And we've only had 1 real tonking, and that were at Arsenal. Now, Arsenal pulled Spurs to bits tonight. Absolutely tore them a new one.
Didn't see it.
And the play, Isaiah got a hat trick, and he were well worth it, and he were properly on song as well.
Right.
But I think from a if we look at those matches, if you don't carry the steal into, Man City, if you give Man City the 10 minutes at the start of the game that they want to dominate, you'll never catch them, and they might not even be in front. But you give them the confidence, and they know they can get at you. They'll run 5 past you, no problem. And Arsenal did that too. I thought Arsenal were, they were ultra clinical against us, but that's what those sides do. They are.
Yeah, that's it.
Look at the players they're able to pick up, and the money that they're able to spend, and the shit that they're able to offer, like Champions League football and all. You're always going to have your pick. It's whether the player wants to play for you or not, really, isn't it?
But we need Ireland to get a cold, and then maybe we'll keep it down to 3 or 4.
Maybe he might just he might just fake a cold so he doesn't have to beat us. That might be nice. Jay,
a miracle.
Yeah, myself and yourself are off to City next week. What are your final thoughts for this evening?
Mate, I'm just I feel hopeless after seeing the same thing again, and I'm just like, I'm looking at the City game and just thinking, well, do you know what? I'm expecting now 4 or 5-0, and that to be the end of him.
You're going to be great crack next week, aren't you?
I'm going to be amazing, man.
Would you take a 4-0 today?
What the fuck? I'll never accept that.
No,
never accept that. I'm going to go there hoping.
I think it'll be worse.
But
of course.
I don't think anything good will happen. I just, because
I think it'll be worse.
He's done what he's done today,
4-0.
Shown that nothing's changed, even when he's got a full squad of fit players. Just says to me there's no point hoping for anything more than what we've seen.
Gail, I mean, we're very tongue in cheek, but Gail said to me earlier, if you don't turn up for a game, it's an automatic 3-0 defeat. Can we not just do that?
Yeah, just do that, yeah.
A bug in the camp.
The goal difference.
An illness in the camp. Everyone's got
we don't have enough players. We've only got 5 players, and you need a minimum of 7 to start a match.
Can't do it, lads. Can't do it. I'm not sure who's on the main pod on Tuesday. Does anybody know? Anybody have any clue?
Probably
no.
It's scheduled for this.
It doesn't normally go. No, I want either, but it doesn't normally go that. It's if you're not on the main, you are on the following. BNC.
I'm not sure about that because I checked Smarty's logic with that there the last day, and I was on.
All I can say is he's done the rota for the. It's somebody that's not done. Somebody other than me's done the rota this time, and it didn't even have dates on for any of it, and now it's got dates on for half of it. It's still impossible to read.
Jay, you're on anyway. Yeah, you're on.
I knew I would be.
You're on with Luke, I think, and Smarty.
Can't wait.
Or Gilly, one of the two.
Gilly must be all bloodied out by now.
Yeah.
Lads, covering Luke, doesn't he, non-stop?
Yeah.
Well, Luke's knocking down walls and putting on new doors and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's all about priorities, Karl.
Well, I'm sure he'd rather a roof over his head that didn't leak, kind of a priority. You know what I mean? And
it's overrated.
Yeah, doors are overrated. Fuck that shit. Gilly, thanks for coming on tonight. Jay, nice one for popping on as well, man. Appreciate it. And everyone in the comments, nice one. Luke's the new pod dodger. I will take that all day long. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's essentially it, isn't it? I think. Thanks very much, and see you Tuesday. Jay, you'll see loads of people here Tuesday. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, do the bell thing, and all of that silly nonsense. Good on yous.
Bell thing.
Yeah, the bell thing.
Bell thing.
Laters.
See.
It's all to know better. We all to know much better than letting Karl go on with Jay.
Karl again.
Luke's calling out bad weathers, and Smarty is no better, and Gilly gets fan mail again. But every time we go live,
shit take has been
can't speak or even tell the time.
It's more a toys out the pram.
It's all
if I see his mother
we
in the stands,
much better.
I'm
this
gonna crack an
show for tonight. And if you like these weapons and you don't think they're balanced, please go check out our merch site. Good night.
Little tosser, and I hate him. He's shit. He's average, and he's a shit house.